up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. April is over, so let's dive into all the numbers and see how my family did on our budget for April. And at the end of the video, we're also going to take a look at my family's annual financial goals to see what sort of progress we've made for the year so far. As always, if you like the spreadsheet you see me using in today's video, you can get it for yourself. It'll be linked to the video description. It's an instant download to Google Sheets and it comes with a detailed video tutorial. You can use it for monthly budgeting, annual budgeting, debt payoff, financial goals, all that good stuff. Okay, so April ended up being a much better month than I expected. I was like crying when I did our April budget and I was being a little over dramatic, but budgeting can be emotional for sure and is a roller coaster. So we had expected to bring in $11,657 for net income, and we actually brought in $12,546. So we brought in an extra $889, which definitely helped our budget this month. So let me show you how we spent that. First of all, we had budgeted for my Roth IRA $49, which was part of what I was upset about, but because we did bring in a bunch of extra money this month, I was able to make a much larger contribution to my 2024 Roth IRA, and that was $600. And then for debt payments, we have one debt left besides our mortgage, and that is my husband's student loan. And so we just paid the minimum payment of $830 this month because we are not paying extra at this point since the interest rate is so low on that debt. If you're new to my channel or haven't watched a ton of my videos, then you may not know that we just hit a milestone of paying off $150,000 of debt in 4.5 years, and it feels so good to just have this one debt left. It did not start out this pretty and nice and simple, so if you're in the thick of it with debt payoff, like hang in there, keep pushing because it really is so worth it. All right, let's pop over to our expenses. So we paid our mortgage, which is by far our biggest monthly expense, $4,477. I was hoping we might be able to refinance at some point in 2024. It's looking like maybe interest rates are going to come down towards the end of the year, but maybe not. Maybe in 2025, maybe in 2026. When you're trying to predict anything about what's going to happen with the economy or like the markets or anything, it's really impossible because there's so many factors that you can't account for. So we're relatively comfortable with this amount. Like obviously I wish it was less, but we can swing this amount, but I do hope at some point we're able to refinance in the next like maybe year and a half. All right, we just got all our normal expenses: life insurance, internet, cell phone, home security, car insurance, and our one subscription, which is Spotify. If you're trying to cut back on your budget, subscriptions are like a really easy one to look at. If you have multiple subscriptions, like just cutting out a couple can give you a little more wiggle room. So we really cut back on our subscriptions like when we first started paying off debt, and that was like one of the first steps I took. All right, groceries and takeout. We have budgeted $1,500. I know it sounds really high. We budget $300 a week. In April, there were 5 Mondays. And so I grocery shop, on Sundays and then pay off my credit card on Mondays usually. So that's why I budgeted $1,500 this month instead of our normal $1,200. And by some miracle, we were able to stay within that budget. We really ate through our pantry and freezer stock this month. And so yeah, that was rough. But I've really been trying to stay in budget with groceries and been struggling all year. And I have been looking into other options. I talked in my last video in my May budget with me about maybe going to Aldi or joining one of the like bigger clubs where you can get like bulk stuff at a discount like BJ's or Costco. And I did get some people reaching out to me saying good things about BJ's, so I did join BJ's and I'm really excited to see how that goes this month. I'm nervous to like be switching up my routine, but one of my friends told me that BJ's has pickup, and for me as a stay-at-home mom and somebody who like gets very stressed out when I go into a store and is very prone to impulse buying when I'm in store, pickup is like really important for me. And I looked at all their options of things they have. I like looked at their website and it seems like it's a good fit for the type of things we already get. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is every month go for like a bigger shopping trip at the beginning of the month and then just supplement with like fresh fruits and vegetables and other things that we need to get on a weekly basis. But that means I kind of need to plan out my meals for like the whole month to an extent before the month starts. So I'm trying to think about how I'm going to work this. I know I can come up with something good. It's just like when you have a good system in place that's been working for you for a long time, it's hard to change it because you're like stuck in your routine. But on the other hand, the system was working and now it's not working as well anymore because our grocery spending is just too high and I want to get it down. So I think it's going to be good. I already looked and did some price comparisons, and some of the things we get every single week are just several dollars cheaper at BJ's than if we went to our normal grocery store. So I'm excited to see how May turns out. So stay tuned for that budget recap for May. We'll go over what happened with the groceries. For household, we went a little bit over at $218. This also, I think there's some things at BJ's we can get, like toilet paper or dish soap, or like certain things that I put into this household category that we could probably save some money on. So I'm going to be looking at that as well. Gas, we spent $246 and we had only budgeted $225. Now my husband started a new job, which I shared with you guys in the last video, and actually the video that's going to be going up after this one is a video with me and him talking about how he found a tech job in 2024 because he was able to find a new job, left his old job by choice, and it went very smoothly considering all the layoffs and the like difficulty in the tech industry with getting a job right now. So stay tuned for that video if you're interested. I'm excited for you guys to hear what he had to say about the process. So anyway, he's been going into Boston when he didn't used to have to. The good thing about Boston is that there's a train that goes into Boston and we are very close to that train line. So he's able to take the train into Boston. He drives just a couple minutes to the train station, leaves his car there, and takes the train in. However, when he takes the train in, he has to pay for a train ticket instead of gas. So we weren't sure if like the gas would be more or less than the train tickets were, and I think it's ending up being a little bit more. It depends how many times he goes in the month. But on the other hand, even though it costs more, it's less wear and tear on his car and less stress on him because he can like sleep or work while he's on the train. So, you know, trade-offs there. But I think we may have to increase our gas budget to like $250 or maybe higher depending on what this ends up being. So I'm gonna wait it out a couple more months to see before like I make a permanent change. But also BJ's has discounts on gas. So what I think I'm gonna try to do is like leave my tank towards empty at the beginning of the month when I am going to BJ's and then fill up while I'm there. And just make a trip of it. So we'll see how that goes as well. So one of the nice things about him going to Boston for work is, like I said, the train station's like 5 minutes from us. And so I've been feeling like nervous since our cars are getting older. His is a 2014 and mine's a 2015, so 9 and 10 years old. And if one of our cars broke down, it's really not in the budget to buy a new car right now. Like we don't have cash saved up for a new car. We don't have room in our budget for our car payment. So we now have the option to just be a one-car family if something happens to one of our cars, because he's not driving into work anymore. He's taking the train, and worst case scenario, like I could load the kids into the car and we could drop him off at the train station in the morning and pick him up in the evening. Like it's not too early or too late for us to be able to do that. So that's just good peace of mind knowing we could do that if we only had one car for a while. All right, utilities, $745. This is actually like good news, not bad news. So you may remember a while ago that I said we weren't getting a gas bill and hadn't been since we moved in. And so I called Eversource and was like, hello, like, can you please come read our meter? I don't want a bill for like $2,000 like in the middle of summer. And so they came out, and our gas bill for 3 months was $589, which is the lowest we've ever paid for gas in the winter since like, I mean, definitely our apartment was more expensive than that. Our condo was more expensive than that. Like it's been many, many years since we had a gas bill that low, and we did put in a high efficiency furnace when we first moved in because our furnace went out like the week we moved in. So I think the money we spent up front on that furnace is getting us a lower gas bill, which is nice. Yeah, it's not too bad. Like we're only over by $145 for the month, even though I just budgeted our normal $600. So I don't think we're actually gonna need $600 a month for utilities in the winter, at least. I don't know what the summer is gonna cost us because the AC system is much older. But yeah, I'm happy like we're not like hundreds and hundreds of dollars over after paying 3 months of heating for like the coldest part of winter all at once. So that's really good news. All right, and then miscellaneous, we were a little bit over by $11, but that's no big deal. All right, moving over from expenses onto sinking funds, let's take a look. So my husband, myself, and my 2 daughters usually each get $150. This month we did give one of my daughters more because she has an annual subscription for her cord blood banking that we need to pay for in April, so she got an extra $300 to cover that. And then for school and activities, we budgeted $1,000. We had $48 in there, and we spent $986, so we ended up with $62 in there. And like this was just a good month for sinking funds because last month we started out with so many negative balances, and this month we were able to like right side a lot of our sinking funds, which made me really happy. So for Miles, he was going to be negative by $5, so I put some of that extra money we got for our income into his sinking fund. I put an extra $5 to get his to even. So we started out with negative 175 in there, and we ended the month with 0. So we are, you know, back to even there. For gifts, I'd only budgeted 50, but I put in an extra 100 to get that sinking fund positive. That had been negative, and now it's at positive $11. For birthdays and Christmas, we budgeted 200. We did spend some money this month. My daughter's birthday is in May, so we've been getting ready for her party, which has been really fun, and she has a lot of opinions this year. She's turning 5, and so it's just been fun to like plan it with her rather than plan it for her and have her be involved in that. So we do have $231 left in that fund. I don't know if we're going to spend all of that on the rest of her party. I have to look and see. This money is for both my girls' birthdays and Christmas, and I already have like designated amounts for each of those things, but I just did it all as one sinking fund just to like make things simple. So I don't know if we'll spend all of that, but we're in really good shape for her party. Okay, car maintenance, we budgeted 100, and again, this was negative, and now it's at positive 33. So again, another sinking fund we were able to put back into the green. These are all in one bank account, by the way, so my bank accounts don't actually go negative if these go negative. Home maintenance, we budgeted $500 every single month since we bought our home, and that has been working out really well. I'm really happy we're doing that. This month we spent $388, so we were left with $482 in that fund. At the end of the month, I hope to build this up to have a few $1,000s. Like I'd love to have a few $1,000 cushion in there in case like a dishwasher goes. And to get a repair person out or replace something, it seems like it's always at least like $500 to $1,000. So I'd love to have that cushion in there. So we're working on building that up. Home decor also started out negative at negative $14, and it still shows negative 47, but I'm waiting on a refund of $55. So we're gonna count that one as positive, but the refund just is still pending. So I didn't put it into my April budget. And then for medical, we had budgeted $300, but I put everything else left over after everything had been paid for the month into our medical fund because this is the only one that is still negative. It was at negative $229, and we spent $630 on medical this month. We're getting like walloped with medical bills lately. So negative $477. I mean, I'm not too worried about this because we are building up money in an HSA that we can draw from. Also, somebody commented on one of my videos something interesting saying like, why are you drawing out of an HSA if you have a taxable brokerage account? Like you can just take money out of there and keep the money in the HSA and let it grow because it's like such a good tax advantaged account. So I'm kind of like trying to decide how I want to pay our medical bills now because our health insurance just changed now that my husband's job changed, and so things are just different. And so I have to figure out where we want to pay our medical from. So let me know in the comments, what do you do? Like if you have an HSA, do you spend it or do you invest it? Like how do you pay your medical expenses, and do you think it's worth it to just pay cash and not get the discount up front by paying through like an FSA or HSA, or do you think it's better to just like take the discount now and worry about investing through like other means? So I'm trying to decide. So we started out the month with sinking funds of $10,149, and we ended up with $10,547. So I like to have $12,000 to $13,000 in here. So we're moving in the right direction, slowly, but moving in the right direction. So overall, good month for our sinking funds. For our actual monthly spending for Pay Yourself First, we were able to send 4.8% of our income to Pay Yourself First, which is long-term savings and investing. For debt, we put 6.6% of our income to debt. Expenses were 60% of our budget this month, and sinking funds were 28.6%. All right, let's take a look at our annual goal progress. I had been forgetting to show you guys this for quite a while, and I'm glad I'm back in the groove of remembering because I feel like this is so important to not only set financial goals at the beginning of the year, but remember what they are and track them throughout the year. And whether you fall short or exceed them, it's just a good exercise to keep track of things from like an annual perspective, so you can take a step back, and if one month is really good or 1 month is really bad, it doesn't skew your idea of like how you're doing overall financially for the year. So let's take a look and see how April impacted our annual goals. So for total income for April, we had $12,546. So our total income for the year so far is $49,184, and our goal is $141,000. So we're 35% of the way there, and we are 33% of the way through the year. So we are on track for income so far. For Pay Yourself First, we made one contribution to my Roth IRA of $600. So for the year, we're at $7,100 of our net income going to pay yourself first, and my goal for the year is $20,500. So we're also at 35% of the way there, so also on track. We did front load this a lot, so I have a strong feeling we are not going to hit this year, and I'm feeling okay about it because our mortgage is just so big right now and it won't be that way forever. But yeah, I don't know that we're going to be able to hit this, but I'm still definitely going to try. For my husband's student loan, we're not planning to pay anything extra, so we are just like on track with that. And so we've paid $3,320 and our goal is $10,000, so we're right on track, 33% of the way there. And then for total expenses and sinking funds, the rest of our budget went there, so $11,116. So for the year, we're at $38,764 on a goal of $110,500. So we're going to try to keep our total expenses and sinking fund contributions under $110,500. So we're 35% of the way there. So it's on par with like what's going on with the rest of our goals, but we are like a little bit ahead, which is not a good thing in this category. So I'm going to really try to focus on our spending and expenses and cut where I can, like I am with the groceries, and see where we can end up for the year. So my goal for the year is to have at least 20% of our income go to financial goals. So for April, we only had 11% go to financial goals and 89% went to expenses and sinking funds. However, for the year, we are at 21% of our income going to financial goals. So again, we're on track now. I don't know if we'll be able to maintain that through the rest of the year, but at least for now, this is looking pretty good. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Like I mentioned, if you like this spreadsheet, you can get it for yourself. It'll be linked in the video description, and I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Bye. All right.
Yeah.